Yo, yo, yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max&JuanCast on this beautiful Sunday night on Mother's Day. Max, my co-host. How you doing today, my brother?
Doing good, man. Just shout out to all the moms. You guys make it possible. Shout out to all you guys, unsung heroes. Shout out to my mom, your mom.
Yeah, shout out to my mom, man. What'd you do today for your mom, man? What'd you get her?
I just left her alone, to be honest, bro. She didn't want to see me. Just say,
That's a gift.
oh
That's a
my
gift right
god,
there.
bro. You ask her one day, she'd be like, "Fucking
I
best
believe
gift."
it. I believe it.
Hey,
Shout out to Mrs. Kardashian, man. I mean, I appreciate her always giving me a warm welcome into the house, into the dungeon.
yeah.
Uh
She lowers the drop bridge, the drop gate,
yeah,
lets us in.
mad respect. I got my mom some flowers and some chocolates, just a
Where the
regular.
fuck is this when it's my day, bro? I ain't get no flower,
I
ain't no
mean, you
chocolates.
really want flowers, bro?
Shit. Flowers up. Isn't that the new thing? Men get men need flowers too. I want my flowers.
Give me my flowers before I'm dead. Um,
Just
I
lay
mean,
them on
that's
my
like the thing. I know that's just the thing now. But shout out to all the moms out there. Little bit of a slow weekend as far as football goes. But basketball had some interesting game threes and had some boxing going on, some UFC. So for the boxing fans in this one, got a little sneak peek. We don't usually talk boxing. I think ever since the Jake Paul fight with Nate Robinson, that was like our first and last
that,
like little deep dive into
I
boxing.
thought that was the thing that officially killed boxing, along with Nate Robinson's career.
Exactly.
Didn't
But
someone else fight? Frank Gore? Who'd he fight?
Darren Williams.
Who
He
won?
got
Darren, right?
Darren. Darren fucked him up. He had
Oh,
reach. He was taller than him. Frank Gore looked officially retired. But
that's why he's not a Hall of Famer, everybody out there. You can't get knocked out by a point guard.
exactly.
Just
But
kidding.
let's start it off with Saturday. Boston and Milwaukee. My goodness, man, this has been an amazing series so far, honestly. And Milwaukee comes out with the dub, and
By
it
the
was a
skin of
great
their fucking
it,
teeth. Oh my
yeah, dude.
gosh.
And these are two heavyweights going at it. Speaking of boxing, it's Ali and Frazier, and it's great to watch because you kind of feel like both teams are not really at full strength. Because obviously with Chris Middleton with the Bucks, but honestly, I feel that way with Marcus Smart on the other side, him missing game 2 and not really looking like the same player that we saw going into the playoffs. What are your thoughts on game 3, Max?
No, I agree with what you said, Juan. It's Middleton missing. You could just see this absence, especially late in games. I like Drew Holiday one, but I just feel like Chris Middleton closes games out a lot better than Drew Holiday. Even though Drew
Yeah.
Holiday did have a clutch little ankle break, flip up the shot, pray it
You know
goes in
what though,
moment.
Max? I seen at the end of the game and I was like, holy shit, Drew Holiday took 30
Well, I
shots.
mean, who's going to take them? Like, I'm
Yeah,
looking at,
right.
I
But
just
it's
looked at the
better.
box score. You want Wesley Matthews, Grayson
Right.
Allen, and then you got like, dude, we talked about how cool it was for them to get a Baca. Yeah, I mean, just Baca's a guy he's toast. He's toast
Yeah.
McGhost. He's not helping. I wish Thomas could get some minutes just to get some of that Greek energy out there. But no, you're right, man. These teams it's wounded animals, but it's so gritty. Like Al Horford's playing really freaking good. A guy who was just an afterthought for them at the beginning part of the year. He's been vital to their success. And then Giannis just saying, "Hey, I'm an unstoppable force. I'm gonna jam it down your throat." And I feel like this was a really, if Boston wins this game, man, I feel really good if I'm a Boston fan, and if I'm a Bucks fan, I feel really good. Like this was a swing game for me.
Yeah.
Like the
And
series isn't over by any means, but it's
right.
just a huge game for both teams.
We're talking about it last pod. I brought it up how we both agree that Giannis is the best player in the world. And I felt like he had one of those games, 40 piece, dominant. Whenever the Bucks were in need of a bucket or a need of a big play on defense, wherever it was, he showed up and he delivered. And everyone's probably gonna the first take and the Mad Dogs and whatever the undisputeds of the world are going to talk about the stupid Marcus Smart foul. Uh, let's just not point it all on that play. There was a play where Marcus Smart got fouled at the 3-point line, and it's controversy because whether it was a shooting foul or not. It
No, it
wasn't.
was
And I don't
not.
think so. Yeah, it wasn't. Like,
It's typical. Oh, I'm getting hit. Let me just flail up my freaking arms. And
right.
maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's shooting," even though
Or
he's
regular
half court.
season,
Yeah, but you know what? I don't really think it mattered in the grand scheme of things, man. Boston had a really good opportunity. They pushed the fourth quarter. They just couldn't slow down Giannis. And
yeah,
Jason Tatum was bad shooting
bad.
wise. He's a good, like, he's gotten to the point where he can affect the game without just scoring. But
Right.
4 for 19, 0 for 6 from three. That's just not going to get it done. And I expect better from him. And I'm sure, like, you can't expect
Yeah.
Tatum to play that poorly, like shoot the ball that poorly.
Yeah. And honestly, I felt like 2 games in a row he's really done that, and Jaylen Brown has kind of bailed him out the last 2 games. Jaylen Brown was definitely not as hot as game 2, but he still had a really good game. I like what I've been seeing out of Jaylen Brown, but
And Grant Williams, he didn't shoot the ball as well in game 2, but
yeah,
that's
they all
expected.
didn't.
That's a role player, though. Role players are going to
Right.
feel more comfortable at home. They're not going to be afraid to take the shots. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: if I'm a Boston fan, you're playing them tight. You're playing them really freaking tight. And Marcus Smart's hurt, which sucks. But this is a winnable series if you're Boston, man. And in Milwaukee, you got to win Game 4. Like, I really think it's a must win because then you put the pressure on this team really freaking bad. It's like, holy shit, we have to take care of business. Then you're playing tight. Then you have a chance to close it out in Milwaukee. Because I'm sorry, Boston's a place I wouldn't want to play a Game 7 at. It's tough.
Even though they were young, Max, and I know it was against a man who it doesn't affect at all, but they have lost Game 7s at home and in the past.
That's true.
When
But
they were young.
But Milwaukee was a victim to Boston in Game 7, so it could come full circle where Giannis is going back. Granted, there is no Semi Ojeleye Giannis stopper back down in those days.
Remember back in the day when Giannis
We were
was just,
so hard on him. We were like,
oh my god.
"Yo,
You know what
this
though, Max? We were hard on them last year after
yeah,
0-2 start against Brooklyn, and like we said, the flip it switched.
100%." And we talked about it. I believe I said it. Just because you down 0-2, we just can't write these teams off anymore. And it happened all today throughout. We'll get to it later with the Heat, and Mavericks.
Every single series except for this one, everyone was down 0-2, right? Suns up 2-0.
Except for Memphis, yeah. Every other team's been, the Western Conference series have been 0-2. No, I'm sorry, I have that backwards.
2 out
Mavericks
of the 4.
were down 2-0, and the Heat were up 2-0, and both teams came back.
Yeah. So it just goes to show you don't. We said it in the last pod. Don't hang your head on a win or a loss, man. Like it's a 7-game series for a reason. And what I like to say in basketball, more likely than not, 9 times out of 10, the best team wins. It's not like football where it's a 1 game.
Yeah, you said it right, Juan. And we can go to the next game. The next game on Saturday was Golden State versus Memphis. Man, if I'm a Memphis fan, I come away from this game, bro, and I'm feeling bad. We just got blown out. It was a third quarter run, and Ja Morant is going to miss Game 4. And like, what do you think if you're a Memphis fan? What's going through your head?
Fuck, man. That injury had me glued to the TV when I seen it. I didn't think it was that bad when it first happened, but he looked pissed off. It looked like he got some bad news on it or something just didn't feel right, and you can see by his reaction. But if they don't have Ja, I know they had experience without him and they've had success in the regular season without Ja. But Ja has been the bright side of this series for them. Because quite honestly, Desmond Bane has had a horrific series to
He's been
start
a
off.
shell of himself, with the lower back injury. So I'll
Yeah.
cut him some slack. But you're right, he's been a shell of himself. And I guess that theory is going to get tested. Everyone out there was saying, maybe Ja's not, maybe Ja's a problem. Well, okay, let's see Game 4 what happens. Let's see. Let's see if Memphis can compete. And you know what? I'm never going to be the guy to think Ja Morant's the problem there. They might compete. They could even steal the game because that's just how deep they are.
Yeah.
But in a playoff fashion, when now all that pressure that's on John Morant every game to perform, it's on someone else. He had 34 that game. He was efficient. He was playing well. He just got bumped in the knee, and it's
And it's really
unfortunate.
bad blood.
Steve
It's
Kerr,
bad,
maybe you can fucking call out your own guy. He fucking broke the
right?
code. You can fucking cry. You can bitch. You can moan. Just saying, he's
Yeah,
hurt.
play it both ways.
You know,
Play it both ways. It's bad blood in this series, Max, because
I like it
it's
though.
just
I
yeah,
like
I
it.
love it. I love it because it's hard playoff basketball, and everyone has a voice these days on Twitter, and anything that's slightly dirty like that or looks fucking intentional, like they're gonna fucking criticize it to the bone.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and to me, like I said with the Draymond play and every other hard foul, it's playoff basketball. It is what it is, bro. Like guys are flying around. There's nothing you can do about it. Sucks for Jaw, man. But are the Warriors, now that you kind of seen the Suns break down like they did against the Pelicans, are you feeling confident that the Warriors are gonna win the West? I mean, because I feel a lot confident. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like it's not Phoenix's. I feel
right?
like less
Lose,
certain in Phoenix. I would say like going into the playoffs, I was like Phoenix is a freaking machine. It's Phoenix and Golden
right?
State, and Phoenix I'd say is like a 70% favorite. Now I'm thinking it's like 40 and
50-50.
60 Warriors. You know what I'm saying? And they started Kuminga this game, which I thought was a cool wrinkle. I feel like Kuminga's a guy. And he's a rookie. He might have a bad game here and there, but he gives you upside. They went small. They're like, hey, we're gonna start Draymond Green in center. We're gonna go to work, and it fucking worked, man. They blew this. It was never close. This game was never close.
Yeah, you gotta love Steve Kerr and his adjustments, man. Um, it kind of just reminds you. It's like last year they were so Steph Curry driven with it was Steph or die with them.
Mm-hmm.
And this year it's like I just feel like they've been getting better every single game since the playoffs have started.
Do you
They've
remember when
shown
they
just
won?
multiple ways to win.
Do you remember that first year they won the championship where it was strength in numbers? I feel like they're
Yeah.
back at that point where it's just
Yeah.
strength in numbers, where it's Jordan Poole off the bench, Kevon Looney, Juan Toscano Anderson, Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, whoever they want to throw out. They got guys who can play. They play smart. And yeah, it's always gonna have a lot of pressure on Steph, Clay, and Draymond. But shit, they didn't have Clay last year, so factor him in. This Warriors team is looking good. It's dangerous, and I feel like Memphis. I think it's slipping, man. I don't want that to be the case because I really like Memphis. I like Ja, but without Ja, I think it's looking bleak for them.
Yeah, most definitely. And I kind of brought up the Phoenix Suns. In a blink of an eye, this series is 2-2. And Chris Paul has had two very bad games. He fouled out today.
Like
And
9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Has this dude like
yeah.
been watching Carl Anthony Towns and Jaren Jackson highlights? No, it's baffling for like he had 5 fucking points today or something, dude.
Right.
And it's Chris Paul.
It's just weird. The last two games have just been out of character for him. It's just you rarely see that from him. After game 2, if you would I was shocked, honestly, because I thought this series was in the bag. I was like, okay, I just simply don't think Dallas can handle. That's the way we're talking on the last pod. And fast forward, it's 2-2. Dallas is looking good. And yeah, I get it. 2 home games. They did what they were supposed to do. But just a lot of guys for Dallas, like Finley Smith and freaking Brunson is starting to play like he did
Bertans
last
had a
series.
good game. Bertans, and
Yeah,
I
it's
like how
just
you called him Dorian Finley Smith, a little throwback to Michael Finley. There's no L in there. I like it though. That might be a nickname in the future. But dude, it just seems like the script has slipped the momentum. Yeah, and I get Phoenix won the first 2 games, but Dallas has just came out and kind of just done whatever they wanted to, and that's
yeah.
what's scary
And
to me.
it's
And
dangerous. This is Phoenix we're talking about. Like you said, Max, a machine this year. And it's alarming because you figured Pelicans, okay, bad matchup. This is 2 series in a row we're seeing them slip. And last series we gave them the pass. Devin Booker. Like, what's the excuse now?
I don't think there is an excuse. They just have to be better. And I would say Luka, I know he carries so much load. He still hasn't had like that great
Explosion.
48-minute game because I mean he wasn't that amazing shooting the ball today. He was awesome. He's an orchestrator. There's no doubt. But if he finds his shot, I think he shot like 2 for 10 from three, maybe like maybe one or
Yeah.
two threes. He's not going to shoot that badly. And what's worrisome is, hey, we got Bertans kind of rolling from three. Finney Smith found his stroke. And it's going to be hard to win in Phoenix. It's a hostile place, but this Mavs team's shown, and I know it was a little different of a team last year. They won a lot of road games in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And I think Dallas, man, they have a shot to win this thing. Like I feel more confident in Dallas right now than Phoenix, and obviously it can all be switched in Game 5. You know, all the role players for Phoenix feel comfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't know. The Suns have to just play better. I mean, Chris Paul can't play as bad as he did. That's never going to happen again, right? Like I can't imagine Chris Paul having another game like this. But I
Right.
kind of want to see
Two is
more out of
already
Ayton
a lot.
too. Like Ayton, I know he's never like a high touch guy, but I kind of want Ayton just to dominate a game once. Like, can he not do it? Who the fuck's who's stopping him?
Right.
Kleber,
And he really
Powell.
he hasn't had that tear up in the playoffs like he did last year.
No, I mean
Last
he's
year,
still solid all across the board. You know, he plays good defense,
not
but
like last year
no,
though.
no, last year he was on another level. Like he was dominating Anthony Davis.
Right. Right. Every center. I mean, every center that he faced off was at least good to elite. Like it was AD. I'm forgetting who they played in the second round. Yeah, Jokic. And then they wound up playing in the West.
Zubac, but
Which
then
is
they dealing
a
with
little
Giannis and Lopez
right.
and yeah, I mean, I just want to see a little bit more out of Ayton. I feel like last year he sprung onto the scene really, and it's kind of been like not as good as last year, which maybe like stems from them hesitating to give him a contract, and that shit plays into it. It's like, why didn't this team pay me? But the script has been flipped one, and it was not just this series. The last game of today, the Heat were up 2-0, and now it's 2-2 with the return of Embiid. But I would say Embiid's not really back yet. He hasn't been his dominant self. Harden got going today. Check out our video, man. It's time for him to get his ass in the gear, man. This is the time.
Yeah. And this is where you pause with the Miami Heat because you don't know how good
You
they are.
said it. You said that last time. How good? I'm like, I don't know, man. They haven't been really tested.
Yeah, and they've gotten tested with Embiid, who's the potential MVP if Jokic doesn't win it, and just him being on the floor. It's like what we like to say with Steph and Clay. Like, even though if they're not playing defense well or they're not passing, just them being on the floor, being a magnet and being someone that you have to worry about. That's what Embiid brings. Just him being on the floor. He doesn't necessarily have to score points.
Yeah. And bro, what the fuck has happened to Duncan Robinson? This is a $90 million man. He's not getting any burn.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. And I feel like he hasn't shot the ball that effectively. He's always going to be a nightmare on defense. They're just going to hunt him out and switch. But this was a guy vital to their success 2 years ago. You're just sitting him on the bench. I feel like it's worth them just to get him out there a few minutes just to say, like, hey, like, would you rather give Gabe Vincent 10 minutes to shoot like 0 for like 8 from 3, or just give Duncan Robinson some time just to get him out there? Maybe he gets hot. I just don't get it, man.
With all this said, with all the series, Max, who's the highest on your panic meter if you're a fan of these teams?
Memphis, just with the injury to Ja and how they looked in Game 3. I'm really worried if I'm Memphis.
Yeah. I would have to go Memphis too. I mean, they're the 2 seed.
Who's next?
High
then?
expectations.
Who's after them?
I would say the Heat.
I would say the Heat, or I would say the Heat. I'm not as worried about the Suns.
Right. I still have trust in the Suns. It's questionable. It's something to take notice on, but I'm still waiting for that dominance, dude. Like, at a consistent basis. And for Chris Paul to have these 2 games, hopefully it's, it happens. You have some slumps, but if Chris Paul continues to play like this, Max, it's a wrap. They don't have a chance.
Maybe he's getting in his own head. Maybe it's like, hey, man, I'm so used to failure. It's kind of just playing out in front of his eyes. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, like, Chris Paul has a history for kind of being bad in the biggest moments, man. Phoenix, I'd say panic meter for Phoenix. It's like 6. Heat, 8. Grizzlies is like a 10.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what they say, though, Max? Series don't start until the road team wins one.
That's true.
We'll see what happens with those series. But we're going to make it a quick one. I did say we wanted to talk some boxing.
Do it. Oh yeah, Chico. Boxing. Come
Oh yeah,
on.
Chico boxing.
For all the George
Um,
Lopez fans out there, shout out to Vic.
so shout out to Canelo. Canelo fought yesterday, yeah, Saturday night.
Can
He
I ask you
wanted
a
to face
question real quick?
what's up?
Like, how hard do you ride for Canelo? Like, that's like I've heard you always talk about him. I know you guys got the Mexican heritage thing
Oh
going.
yeah,
Like,
most
how?
definitely.
Like, is it like 10 out of 10, or is it like
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like with when it comes to Hispanics, bro, like we're gonna ride with Canelo,
so
bro.
for like La Raza, basically, right?
Oh hell yeah, fuck
Yeah.
yeah! Like you're gonna ride with Canelo, bro. And it's just it's fucked up because he lost on Saturday. He lost to the Russian dude. I I'm not gonna try to act like I'm a big boxing fan. Max is not that big of a boxing fan, so I don't even know the Russian dude's name. All I know, Max, is that it was Cinco de Mayo, and Canelo usually kicks ass, bro. He fights on Cinco de Mayo, and he whoops some ass. Besides when he's facing Floyd Mayweather, and now he has 2 losses, and the Russian dude knocked him down. It was unanimous decision of him winning, but he got knocked down.
Well, let me ask
So
you. I watched parts of the fight on YouTube. I went back. I watched some of the rounds. There's been talk that he got robbed. Is that the case, or is that just
I don't
is
think
that
so.
just a
The
losing
Rush
fighter says that shit? I always is gonna say that shit.
he was taking it kind of well. I was seeing some stuff on like IG, like him taking photos after the fight with fans and shit, and him admitting like, "Hey, I lost tonight." Like he was better, but I just think it really takes something away from his legacy of being one of the best Mexican boxers of all time. Like him losing to that Russian guy. And look, granted to the Russian guy, he's undefeated. I
Bivol
think he's
is his name. Bivol.
yeah, and credit to him, but I just think it takes a big loss on his legacy, man. Shout out to Canelo,
Well, will it
but
look better down the road if this guy like turns out to be one of the best fighters ever? Like Bivol, like it just
maybe.
because I'm saying like I've just been reading about him over the last couple of days, and like they're saying he's a dog.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the best guys, and he's been underrated his whole career just because maybe he doesn't have the flash, you know. And it's crazy, dude. This is only his second loss. Canelo, he lost to Floyd,
Yeah.
but I feel like fighting Floyd one, unless you get knocked out, it's like a weird fight from the start because it's just so
Yeah.
it's so
And
like
that
Floyd plays with the judges like no one we've ever seen. It's just like I know I have a system. Here's a jab, get me a point, another jab, point,
right.
won't get hit.
A- And it's a reason why, Max. I mean, our podcast, one, I mean, we love football and basketball, but I mean, let's just be real. Football is king and basketball comes second, and boxing and everything else just kind of
It's fighting for our
rolls in.
love.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, what bothers me about boxing, about a lot of these guys, just from the outside looking in, and I got, my brother's into boxing. I got a couple coworkers and friends who are into boxing. And when I do start talking about it, I think everyone's in the agreement that like I feel like a lot of these guys only take on fights that they can win. And everyone's trying to stay undefeated. Like if you're undefeated in boxing, it's like I'm not gonna fight this dude because I might lose. So I'm gonna fight this other guy
So it's
who's a
just like
little bit
feast
lower.
on the weak. That's stupid.
Right. Yeah.
That's
Okay. Like
dumb.
for instance, in I think it's the junior division, but a couple of young guys who are on the rise. I think it's I'm forgetting
That
his name,
Hispanic dude,
Garcia.
right? Ryan Garcia
Yeah,
or something.
Ryan Garcia and Tank. This is Black Boxer. And everyone has been like matching them up for a couple years now. Like, when are they gonna fight? When are they gonna fight? And it's like, dude, I think there's just one of them is scared to fight each other. It's like, oh, I'm undefeated, so I'm not gonna fight him. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
Well,
just
think
fucking
about
fight.
Floyd. What about Floyd and Pacquiao? We had to wait till Pacquiao was
Right.
way past. Both them were past their prime. It
Yeah.
was like they never matched up when it was like, wow, like damn, they're both at the peak of their powers. And probably that was Floyd being like, fucking, I got a brand, I'm gonna protect it. And I get it's smart, but it's just not good for the sport as a whole. And I feel like that's why part of the reason the sport's kind of taking a backseat to UFC, man. I feel like I see a lot more UFC shit than I ever see boxing
Oh
shit
yeah.
no more. And I grew up and it was my dad always told me about Tyson, Mike Tyson, Muhammad
Right.
Ali, George Frazier, all these guys, man. And now it seems like boxing is just in the
Yeah.
background, man.
I mean, UFC is fucking killing it, man. They did the deal with ESPN Plus. It's
Bro,
on
I feel like they
there.
have a fight there every fucking week, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. No, UFC is
Like
big,
weekly with that shit.
it and it's a huge fan base. You know, people talk about the UFC like they do like with football. You know, it's a regular fucking thing. And boxing, on the other hand, I just feel like it's a big ass. It's really big propaganda, bro. Like, and I just felt like ever since Floyd has entered it and got really big, it's always been like that. Like you rarely get just dudes like going in the ring and fucking duking it out. Like, let's fucking fight. I don't
What?
care if you can beat me.
And I wish we had someone we could talk to about this. Like, what's up with no heavyweights? I always see like welterweights, light heavyweight, like these feather guys. Is there just no like big 6'4" dudes who want to just fight? Like Mike Tyson. I know he's not
Well,
6. What's up
I,
with
I
the
think the
heavyweights?
I think the two guys that have been the biggest names as far as heavyweights recently has been
Oh,
what's his
and it's not Deontay Wilder
yeah, Wilder.
and Tyson Fury. Man, I'm still salty
Yes.
about Wilder getting his ass beat because he wore that suit. Of course, that's why he lost.
Yeah. And
That was one of the greatest fights I ever saw. If we want to take a quick, the first one, remember where he like knocked him down in, like the 15th round or something, and he like got up like a zombie.
yeah.
That
And
was
that's the thing about boxing is like even now that it's not that big. And when I say big, guys, I'm talking about mainstream. Like everything in this world, whether it's music, sports, or whatever, there's an underground to it. Like there's people that love boxing right now and know the ins and outs of it.
yeah,
But it's
absolutely, yeah.
underground. Yeah, I just
But
want to
we're like the
clarify that.
perfect people to talk about with because we're like into the mainstream of boxing. And like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be an expert. I don't know all the fighters,
we're
but just
casual,
from a
bro.
mainstream casual boxing fan, it
Yeah.
seems like this dude Jake Paul had more hype around him than the Canelo,
Oh,
which is
most
insane
definitely.
to me.
Yeah,
And
it
bro, the
is.
biggest fights I can remember in the last 5 years: Connor versus Floyd, which was a fucking joke.
Right.
Jake versus whoever, the other YouTuber,
Is
KSI,
right. KSI.
KSI, uh, Nate Robinson, Logan Paul, Tyson versus Holyfield when they're old ass men, or no, Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. That was
Yeah.
cool. It's just a joke, bro. Wilder versus Fury. I don't know,
Fury.
man. It's just crazy to me, man. I wish
You
boxing
know,
could kind of come back.
yeah, I wish too because it has its moments where it's like the storyline is there and the interest is there. Like, I don't know if you remember Anthony Ruiz knocking out
Joshua?
Joshua.
Oh, was that
Yeah,
the chubby Mexican dude who like
right.
came out of
Yeah.
nowhere?
And it
What
was
happened to him? Is he still
I
like
mean,
getting? He's getting knocked out now, or what?
yeah, he's fell off. He's fell off.
Okay.
Yeah. But just not even in boxing. That's one of the biggest upsets of all time in sports. Like as far as like a betting wise, like he was that big of an underdog.
My boy
It was
came in out of
absolutely
shape,
insane.
bruh. A little
Oh
porky
yeah,
boy.
yeah, most definitely. But there's our little casual boxing for you guys. Uh, we don't know UFC that much, man. We know the big names. We're casuals when it
Conor
comes to that.
McGregor. Who
Yeah,
fucks that guy one?
exactly. But just a slow weekend, dude. Got some basketball for you guys, got some boxing. Wanted to do a little mini Mother's Day Sunday pod for you guys. We'll probably be back on Wednesday. If not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, like the video. And when you turn on post notifications, you get notified for every time we drop a banger like this one, bro. We drop clips, we drop full pods, we drop the NBA/NFL videos for you guys, the MJC originals, as we like to call it. Um, Thank you all for the support lately, dude. All the support
Hell
on the
yeah.
live streams, the videos,
NFL
all that
draft
good stuff.
stream. That was long and fun, but it was
Yeah,
crazy.
most definitely, dude. But I think that's gonna do it, man. Shout out to all the moms out there. Shout out to all the single dads out there that gotta play both parts for mom and dad. Shout out to y'all out there. But Max, any last words that you want to say?
No, you said it well. Shout out to all the pairs.
Shout out to all the pairs. All right, y'all. We'll see you on Wednesday. All right. Peace.